What is your American dream?
So my American dream is to have a family and to just live a successful life, a life, in abundance, and to give back as well to the community and society that I live in.
My American dream at the moment is just to raise a family and be happy.
My American dream is pretty simple: peace and justice for all.
I'm from Russia. I don't live in America, but my American dream is peace around the world, peace between countries.
My American dream is that everyone has freedom of a lot of different things. Freedom of speech, freedom to get whatever they're trying to accomplish in life, their dreams, their goals. Every dream that Americans have is something that's tangible and something that can be accomplished.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is Bradshaw Live. I'm back in the studio. We're going to pray this whole thing works. We have lots of crew members holding wires together, perhaps even risking their life, because who knows what the electric current's going through it. But, I mean, like Jay Rhymes is holding wires together right now in order for us to come live, for me to talk to Yo-Yo and Vanessa, if they're hopefully out there. Jay Rhymes, put the wires together. There we go. He did it.
There it goes.
Vanessa. But I'm getting a feedback. Yo-Yo is going to. I have a whole feedback.
It's bad. It's lagging.
Yes, it is. We have a lag. This is not good. All right, let me talk and let them try to figure out how to fix this. All right, we're going to say hello to the squad.
It's lagging.
We're going to say hello to the squad. We're going to mute Vanessa. We're going to mute Yo-Yo. We're going to figure it out while I say hello to the squad. But everyone knows Vanessa and Yo-Yo are alive and well. Squad up, Carol Anderson, the Tiger. How are you? Pape Samuel, squad up. Tremaine Ramdeen, squad up. How are you? And Chamisha Carter, we see you watching. Marcel Reed, squad up. And Kavar Harris, squad up. A pre-comment of the day. Squad up. I pray and hope everybody's in the best of health. We are in the best of health, but we can't seem to be able to communicate with each other. Hello, Andrea Reed. How are you? Paulette Bryce Cameron. Squad up, Family Thursday. Blessings. Nesquik, where are you and Yo-Yo? They're out in the stratosphere trying to connect in while we connect out. Eventually, this is going to work, I know. Sandra Rose Stoddard, squad up. Paulette Bryce Cameron, I think I said hello to you already. Jessica Leamy, Joy Titus, Hawa. And Cake Ma Wilson, squad up. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Olivia Love saying hello, beautiful evening to everybody. Beautiful evening to you as well. Denise Johnson, squad up. Azkar Khan with a statement. Brad, squad up, man, you are the best lawyer in the tri-state area. I hope I don't need you for my case, but if I need a lawyer, you'll be on top of my list. God bless, man. And by the way, Vanessa, you're really pretty, and Mr. Yo-Yo. You pretty, Vanessa, and Mr. Yo-Yo.
Thank you.
Asghar Khan with a compliment for everybody. Kavar Harris, still on vacation in Mexico, but's not missing the show. Miloslav Minkoff, welcome back, Uncle Brad. And yeah, Yo-Yo and Vanessa are back. I hope the Brad squad behind the scene We're going to hold the wires together until they end up, and if they do, they're going to end up being our heroes today. You are true, Miloslav. They will be our heroes today if they can hold the wires together. Babin Sunar never misses the show. Adriana Broderick. Say, hey, Brad, is there a specific form that you should give to the hospital of birth if you are issued an RFE for a late registration in order to get evidence to prove your parents are indeed your parents? A late registration does not prove your parents are your parents, unfortunately. So there's no form to give to the hospital. You have to prove they're your parents through other means other than a late registration of a birth certificate. You may have to prove DNA, affidavits from people, school records, tax returns, baptism certificates. There'll be other ways that you have to prove they're your parents, but the late registration is not going to be one of them. Let's pray that I hear Yo-Yo's voice and Vanessa's voice and see their faces.
Yep. Voice check.
Voice check. Yo-Yo? Yo-Yo.
He's there. We hear him.
Yo-Yo.
Right.
All right, Vanessa, I think it's me and you until Yo-Yo. Get Yo-Yo. See you later. Figure it out. Come back. Vanessa, it's me and you today.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, now I hear you. Welcome to the show.
Can you hear me?
Welcome to the show, Yo-Yo. Welcome to the show. I was about to kick you off.
It's lagging, y'all.
I
Sorry.
was about to kick you off. All right, why don't I go into some schmoozing?
No, it's lagging.
Okay, why don't I go into some schmoozing with Vanessa and see how Yo-Yo unlags himself. So it's all not good news today, Vanessa.
I saw.
Yeah, not good news at all. A Florida beachfront condo collapsed. 12-story beachfront on Collins Avenue in Miami Beach collapsed. There's one person confirmed dead. More than 99 people are missing. Perhaps many of them could possibly be injured or dead as well. It collapsed in the middle of the night at 1:30 a.m. There were residents there, owners.
Oh.
There were renters there who were renting from the owners. Nobody knows for sure how many people were sleeping in the building when it collapsed. This is in an upscale neighborhood, right, Vanessa? And because you're down there in Miami, it's an upscale neighborhood. This building was built in 1982, so it's not even 40 years old yet. So it's new construction, relatively, not old construction from hundreds of years ago. It's new construction, built modern. Buildings like that don't collapse out of nowhere. Now, Governor Ron DeSantis, who toured the scene, said television did not capture the scale of what happened. He said rescue crews are doing everything they can to save lives. That is ongoing. They're not going to rest. Authorities did not say what may have caused the collapse. On video footage captured from nearby, the center of the building appeared to fall first. The center of the building fell. That just doesn't happen by accident.
No, that doesn't.
That does not. Buildings don't collapse in America by accident. At least not in my lifetime. The only times buildings have collapsed in my lifetime in America is when it was done intentionally. I'm not saying it's terrorism, but
Right.
I have not seen a building collapse in my lifetime in America. I'm 52 years old. A modern building. You know, you've seen some buildings collapse because there was a, explosion from a gas heater or something like that. So there was some explosions, but this was not an explosion where there was like a gas explosion or a gas leak. This was just a collapse. They said they were doing work on the roof, but doing work on a roof doesn't collapse a building. It's less than 40 years old, this building. Modern construction. This is modern construction, and these condos were going from anywhere from 500,000 to $1 million plus. These are expensive condominiums. Just doesn't collapse like that. I'm sorry. First of all, I feel terrible. Imagine you're just sleeping, that's the end of your life. 1:30 in the morning, you're fast asleep, that's the end of your life. Building collapses, you're done. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know how many people are ultimately going to be dead, but there's got to be more than one. All right, there's 99 missing, and maybe more. Who knows? Nobody knows how many people were in that building. You know, right now, there's a claim of 99 people missing. And we remember what happened in 9/11. Okay, when you were missing in 9/11 and the building collapsed, they didn't find you. So I wouldn't be surprised, sadly, very sadly, that the number of deaths are going to rise over 100 people here. And there's 130 units in the building. Who knows how many people were in each unit, how many were occupied at that time? It's 1:30 in the morning. Everyone's sleeping. We're getting ready for bed. We're watching late night television. And just the building collapses. Modern building. Just doesn't happen like that in America. Not by accident.
Foul construction, lack of engineering, a lot of.
No, I'm sorry. No. This building stood up for 40 years. No.
So
all right.
what is?
I don't have an answer. All I know is, I don't know. All I can tell you is, from my experience, a building does not collapse from the inside by accident. It's just my opinion. I hope I'm wrong, or maybe I shouldn't be wrong. I don't know. Because if I'm wrong, that means we got to start checking all our buildings. Are other buildings going to collapse that were built in this area at this time with this material? I think maybe that would be scarier. At least if it was done intentional, we know our other buildings are safe. I'm not saying it's terrorism. I don't know what to say. You know, you would say, okay, well, maybe you're better off it was accident. Maybe you're better off it was intentional. I don't even know what the right answer is. All I can tell you is there's going to be over 100 people dead. The tower is a mix of seasonal year-round residents. The Argentine consulate in Miami said 9 people are missing from Argentina who are living in that building. The sister of the First Lady of Paraguay, Silvana Lopez Morea, is among those who are unaccounted for, as is her husband, 3 children, and a worker accompanying the family.
Oh, wow. That's so sad.
Now, every 40 years, buildings have to go through a recertification process in Miami Beach. So the building was in the process of being recertified by engineers for safety. And according to news reports, as that recertification process was going along, nobody raised any red flags that there was any problem with the building. I mean, this is modern construction in multi-million-dollar condominiums that was built in recent times. 1981 for construction is recent modern building. Just doesn't collapse like that. Not out of nowhere. I'm just telling you. I think I don't want to say sabotage. I don't want to say terrorism. I don't want to say it was intentional. I just want to say I would be very surprised if it wasn't, because stuff like this doesn't happen. I don't know if anybody hears me out there, Vanessa and Yo-Yo.
Yeah, I certainly do. For me, I've tried. So yeah, I was just saying I want to see how this goes after they investigate.
I only hear every other word out of your mouth, Vanessa.
Oh, I'm just doing my best.
I'm sorry. Yesterday, President Biden announced a range of actions targeting rising gun violence. Homicide rates have jumped, and Republicans blame him for it. But Biden began his remarks by saying the rise in violent crime dates back to last year before he took office. He said it spiked since the start of the pandemic over a year ago. Crime historically rises during the summer. I'll tell you also, crime historically rises when people don't have jobs and money. When people have nothing to do and they're sitting around, crime rises. That's why summer, people are outside, crime rises. Now, he laid out a comprehensive strategy that's going to target law-breaking gun dealers, provide federal resources to police departments for gun crime enforcement, allow communities to repurpose millions of dollars of federal coronavirus relief. The reality is for, crime in America, it's going to be, if crime's going to come under control, it's not going to be because of the federal government. It's not going to be because of Biden. It's going to be because of what happens in the local communities. Will the local communities trust police? Will police follow the rules and the laws? That's, where we're at. You get a confluence of people out of work, people home on a pandemic, out of control gun sales, people not trusting the police not wanting to police anymore. So I don't think it's a Biden problem. I think it's a local problem. I'm not sure there's solutions right now. Maybe incremental solutions. I don't know.
Yeah, when you put all of those together, it doesn't seem like it's very well.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, according to industry and government data, gun sales in the United States reached a record level last year, with the biggest increase in background checks for firearms overlapping with months of social and political unrest, according to the Small Arms Analytics, a consulting firm based in Greenville, South Carolina. Firearms background checks show nearly 23 million guns were purchased in 2020. 23 million new guns out on the streets.
Wow.
That is absurd. 23 million guns. And by the way, when you say, the violence in New York, for example, it's almost impossible to buy a gun in New York, but you can go across the river and buy a gun in New Jersey much easier. You can go down south and bring all the guns you want into New York City. So,
So this is 23 million guns that were documented, correct? Because I know a lot of people who get guns just out of someone's trunk of the car as well.
That is right. These
if they don't have the license and whatnot.
I'm not saying there's 23 million guns on the street. What I'm saying is there was 23 million new guns purchased in 2020. On top of all the illegal guns, on top of all the existing legal guns.
Sheesh.
It's a lot of freaking guns.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of
Scary.
freaking guns. Now, a record number of Georgia residents got firearms in 2020. Almost 1 million people bought a gun last year in Georgia. In Michigan, January background checks increased 155%. New Jersey, over 240%. Now, customers are increasingly diverse. Surveys last year found 58% increase of African American gun buyers. So it's everybody. Minorities, Caucasians, Hispanics, Asians, everybody. 40% of gun buyers in 2020 purchased a firearm for the first time. You know who doesn't own a gun? Me. I don't own a gun. I never want to own a gun. I don't want to know anything about a gun. I'm against guns. To me, whatever joy you get out of hunting Bambi is outweighed by the violence it causes. And I don't want to live in a society where I have to defend myself with a gun. So I will walk around without a gun.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Same.
Let's get to... let's do this too. A former NRA president was tricked into speaking at a fake high school graduation. Did you hear about this, guys? In June 4th, on a speech to the James Madison Academy 2021 graduating class, David Keene, a former NRA president and current board member of the gun rights group, called on the teens to fight those looking to implement tighter gun restrictions. Now, unknowingly, Keene was actually addressing thousands of empty chairs set up to represent the estimated 3,044 kids who should have graduated high school this year and instead were killed by gun violence. Change the Ref, an organization founded by Manuel and Patricia Oliver, whose son Joaquin Guac was killed in 2018 at a Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, held a fake high school graduation for what they called the lost class of students. They invited Keene and John Lott, an author and gun rights activist, to give remarks to a high school graduating class and filmed what they were told was a rehearsal in a stadium of empty chairs. Ironically, had the men conducted a proper background check on the school, they would have realized the school doesn't exist. It's fake. But after filming, Keen and Lot were told the graduation was canceled because of a credible threat of violence and were not informed before the videos were released yesterday that the event was actually fake. The stunt was designed to highlight how powerful gun advocates speak. Manuel Oliver told BuzzFeed News, "These guys are part of the problem. We need to call them out. We need to show everyone this is how they process the logic behind the gun industry." Do we have a video of this? Let's watch.
Okay, is anybody injured?
Yes, a lot of blood. Please help, please.
In the videos released yesterday, Lot and Keen's graduation speeches calling for gun rights protections and talks about James Madison, the founding father who proposed the Second Amendment, are interspersed with audio from 9/11 calls about school shootings and the sound of gunfire. All right, guys, we're getting late here, and we want to get into our immigration. Let's just go to some quick wacky news, and let's get some enjoyment here, right? Why not, right?
Yeah, let's do
see
it.
What's going
Let's
on
do
in
it.
wacky news?
Yeah, let's light.
Do we have any wacky news? I hope so.
Of course.
Of course, our plane doesn't even take off. There it goes.
There we are.
There we are. It's one of those wacky days. All right, so a Dutch replica of the biblical animal rescuing ark has been held in the United Kingdom for 19 months. Some guy built the replica of the Noah's Ark because he thought the world was coming to an end. Except the problem is the UK won't let him put it out in water because it's not seaworthy.
Huh.
The 230-foot-long floating boat made a rare trip out of Holland in November 2019 to dock in Orwell Quay in Ipswich, where it was impounded by Coast Guard officers who refused to let it sail away, according to official documents obtained by the Ipswich Star. We do have concerns about this vessel. We cannot rely on the grace of God that it can be safely towed back to Holland. They cited the $3.7 million ark being 61 years old, as well as lacking necessary certificates and information about its weight and stability. The ark's owner, Dutch TV producer Ad Peters, said the vessel has been permitted to make previous trips because it is a non-certified floating object not required to comply with international regulations. It's a floating object. It's really not a boat. Noah's Ark is a floating object. So the guy built Noah's Ark. Problem is, it's not seaworthy. Poor animals will all go down like the Titanic in that thing. Pretty wacky. One of those days, right? It's one of those days. I almost dropped all my wacky news. I'm like, it almost fell on the floor. A painting by rock icon David Bowie is expected to sell for thousands of dollars in an online art auction after someone picked it up for a few bucks at a donation center at an Ontario landfill. The portrait, titled D-Head XL V1, is part of a series of approximately 47 works that David Bowie created between 95 and 97. The piece was Bowie's distinctive signature on the back of a 9-by-8-inch canvas, along with a tag that is his name, the date 1997, and the description of the paintings as acrylic and computer collage on campus. So the guy picked it up for $5, but now he's going to be able to sell it for an estimated $12,000 US. Not a bad investment.
A come up. That's definitely a come up.
Yeah.
That's a serious treasure hunt.
That is a treasure hunt. Did you ever go and ever do that? Like buy something and it like became worth like a lot?
No, because
I haven't, but like I always think about like my family. I feel like my family probably has stuff that they just picked up, somewhere, and it's worth a lot. So, and because we have a lot of storage, so I know that. I don't know if it's a Davy Bowie picture or anything, but I'm pretty sure we have something that could be pretty historic.
You ever watch that show on PBS, Roadshow, where like the guy like finds like like my grandpa handed me this Civil War relic, And,
Yes.
I've had it in my family on the shelf, and my mom said it was valuable, but I have no idea. And then they all of a sudden they're like, hey, it's worth $50,000. Click. You're like, woo! I love that show.
I actually love that show. I
It's
remember the
Antiques
last one I
Roadshow,
saw,
right.
it was this lady. She just brought out this old mirror. It looked really dope, but then
Right.
found out that it was a queen from like hundreds of years ago. And I'm like, how the heck did they even find out that it was that? But like they research and they study and all that, but it found out it was a queen's mirror from like hundreds of years ago. And she was just like, it was just in my mom's desk. I didn't know. I'm like, what?
And you want to know what? I was just telling my friend the other day. I said, my grandfather. I said he never left me any antique mirror or anything. I'm so mad at him. My friend said to me, "What are you out of your mind? He left you a law firm, Spar and Bernstein. What are you complaining about, right?"
Right. I think that's an even trade.
It was an even trade, although I built it up, but it's okay. All right, he still gave me something, right?
Right.
All right, and I'm gonna let Vanessa pick the last wacky story because we got to get moving on our show today. Right, left. What?
The one over the pocket square.
All right. Southeastern Australian region is being blanketed in spider webs following the severe flooding in the region. The spooky images were first shared to Reddit, but have since gone viral across the web. If the floods weren't enough, I give you spider apocalypse, wrote the user on the picture, which shows spider webs covering a field in Victoria, Australia. The haunting webs appeared following torrential rainfalls and powerful winds that resulted in several deaths and forced thousands to evacuate. What? Wow, that's a lot of That's a lot of spiders there.
I don't play with spiders.
I would
don't do nothing.
I would not be anywhere near there. That seems to be a place I would not want to live. It seems like there's a lot of spiders in that area. I don't think I want to live there. Would you want to live there?
Just thinking about it, I'm starting to itch.
There's a lot of
Like
spiders in Australia. I'm not sure if I want to go anymore. Now, Ken Walker, an entomologist at the Melbourne Museum, told the Guardian newspaper it's a semi-regular occurrence in Victoria, Australia in wintertime. When we get most of our rain, spiders can make a wide range of different silks for this behavior called ballooning. They use a very, very thin silk, a fly away from the breeze. Yo-Yo and Vanessa, I will not be going to Victoria, Australia anytime soon. I don't want to go anywhere
Brad, you don't have to worry about it because I ain't going either.
I don't want to go anywhere near those spiders. All right, so that's the wacky news from the week. It's been quite a week. At least we have you back somewhat.
We're here.
At least we got you back somewhat. Let's get to today's Braducation. I talk about when the police have the authority to search and seize your car. Let's watch. My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your decriminalization Braducation. I'm not here to tell you what you want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. When a police officer has probable cause that a crime is being committed by you, the officer has a right to arrest you. This notion of probable cause comes from the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. It protects people from unreasonable search and seizures. It is not a guarantee against all searches, but just those that are unreasonable. Do the cops have a right to search your car or truck if you get pulled over? If a police officer pulls you over or approaches your vehicle, provide the paperwork they ask for. But if they ask to search your vehicle, whether you have something to hide or not, your answer should always be no. No, you cannot search my vehicle. Your right is that the police cannot search your vehicle. You may notice that the police sometimes, when they stop your vehicle, look through the windows. It's because they're only allowed to search your car if they have reasonable suspicion that a crime is being committed based on what they see in plain sight. So if you have nothing in plain sight in your car, nothing on your dashboard, nothing in your lap, nothing in your console, and they go and open your car door and start searching your car, or they go and open and search in your trunk, whatever they find would not be admissible in court because it was an illegal search. And the case against you would be thrown out of court. And by the way, you can watch all of our Braducations by following us on OnlyFans TV. I am the only lawyer on OnlyFans TV. Maybe another one joined, but I know when I started a few weeks ago, I was the only one, and I keep my clothes on all the time. It's absolutely free. I don't charge, unlike everybody else on OnlyFans. It's absolutely free. There is no charge for anything on Braducations on OnlyFans TV. All right, let's go to You've Got a Question, I Got an Answer. The meat and potatoes of our show, getting answers to your immigration questions. Let's go to Gimps in Bandera, Texas. Gimps, how are you?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Doing good. I remember I talked to you on the show, and we talked about my kids were in Haiti. We're supposed to get a green card. They haven't gotten it still. But Monday, I did my citizenship interview, and everything went so well, and I got approved on the spot.
Congratulations.
And they give me a form, approval form. Not an approval form. It's like an appointment to for my oath ceremony.
Right.
And they give me a single paper because the machine was giving problems. I couldn't even read. You know, they use iPads now to make you sign and all that. So none of that was working. So they had to print every single paper to make me sign and all that.
Okay.
But they give me that form, N445, which is an appointment form.
For your swearing in.
It was just a single form. So they asked me to come tomorrow for a oath ceremony, but I noticed online they said they had mailed me another form.
Go tomorrow. If you have an appointment tomorrow, don't miss your oath ceremony. If they say, oh, it was rescheduled, then you'll have to go back.
Oh, okay. And another question, Mr. Brad, since tomorrow will be the oath ceremony, so I'll be officially a U.S. citizen.
Correct.
Will that give me any legal power to pressure the embassy for my kids to get their green card?
How old are your children?
8 and 6.
Yes, they would, because they would be immediate relatives. And as a matter of fact, when they come to the United States, they become automatic U.S. citizens. As soon as you get the naturalization, you alert the NVC that you want to upgrade the case to immediate relatives. And yes, that would put them in a much better position.
Well, they're already under immediate relative because it was my wife with the U.S. citizen who did it.
But still, you would say, here's my naturalization. The kids are going to become automatic U.S. citizens when they enter. So now you're withholding citizenship from children. So try to speed it up that way. Even though your wife filed for them, they're still going to get green cards and be residing with a U.S. citizen parent.
Okay, but that being, because that I'm going to be a U.S. citizen, that will expedite that case.
I don't know if it'll expedite it, but it's certainly not going to hurt. That's for sure. And I can tell you that your kids are going to be automatic citizens when they arrive.
Okay, and then will that waive the obligation to support them since they got to be, there's something called public charge?
Yeah, well, quite frankly, yes, but you would have to alert the embassy that you're a U.S. citizen as well now. Yes, but the answer is yes, because they're going to become automatic citizens the moment they walk into the United States, so they don't need affidavits to support anymore.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, tomorrow will be the day, and I'm so happy. I remember when I was talking to you, and I went to that interview, and you were telling me to bring proof of joint document
Right.
and all that. I was lucky enough. They didn't ask me a single
Good.
piece of paper.
Good.
They just approved everything. You know,
Congratulations.
They just asked me the question, and
I'm happy for you.
approved everything.
Congratulations. I'm happy for you. All right, Gims, I got to go to the next caller, all right? But thank you very much, and good luck
Thank you,
with
Mr.
everything,
Brad,
okay?
And I appreciate the work that you do.
My
And
pleasure, and
keep
thank
up
you
the
for
good work.
And thank you for calling and giving us the update, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations to you. Let's go to Peter in Fort Myers, Florida. Peter. Hi, Peter. Peter from Fort Myers, Florida. Peter. All right, Peter is gone. Let's go to Dave in Oakland, California. Dave.
Yeah, hi, Brett. How are
Hi,
you?
Dave. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I have a quick question, please. When I married my wife, she's a LPR. We married in 2019. Okay.
2019.
And, yeah.
Okay.
And we filed I-130 after that in October.
Mm-hmm.
And it got approved in December 2020. And she got the same month, she waited for a citizenship for 1 year and almost and approved in December 20.
Wait. You're talking fast now. So you got married in 2019 to an LPR.
Yeah.
She filed for you, and it got approved in 2020. And then what happened?
She was LPR at that time.
Right.
And we filed in October 2019, we filed for I-130.
I understand that. Okay.
And we got approved in December 2020.
I understand that. And then what happened?
Okay. And she became a citizen in the same month, December 2020.
Okay. How did you come to the United States, Dave?
Yeah, I'm a student, F1. I'm an
Okay.
F1
And
student.
I assume you're from India?
Yes.
Okay. And has she filed an adjustment application for you?
Yeah, actually this thing, we went to a lawyer and the lawyer said as she did not work in 2020, we don't have enough income to file for adjustment. So what we have to do now?
Your wife hasn't worked in 2020, and that's why the lawyer said don't file an adjustment?
Yes.
The lawyer's a moron. Get a second
Yeah.
affidavit of support from someone else. Your wife doesn't have to be working. Just get a second affidavit of support from somebody who is working and file your adjustment. You should have been doing it a year ago.
Oh.
That's the most ridiculous advice I ever heard in my life.
Okay.
All right. So you have a second person to give an affidavit of support?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there would be no reason not to. All right. Every week I'm filing adjustment applications and getting green cards for spouses who are not working as long as you have a second affidavit of support. It's basic immigration.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
Brett.
Dave.
Yeah.
By the way, Dave, I know you can't possibly be Dave. I've never met a Dave from India in my life, but it's okay.
It's my full name.
We know.
My first, I pronounce Dave. It's easy to pronounce here. My last name is Developali. So
it is? Okay, fine. Okay, so you could be Dave. Okay, I take that back then. All right.
Yeah.
All right, be well.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Let's go to Sean in Mount Vernon. Sean.
Yes, Mr. Bragg. Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Bragg. I'm a green card holder, and I have a 20-year-old son. What is my best option of filing for him?
File an I-130. How'd you get your green card? Let's start there.
So, to my daughter.
Okay, so you have to turn around and file for your son. Where is he?
Yeah, well, he's here now in the U.S. because he came up for a holiday.
When?
He came up 3 weeks ago.
Oh, when does he turn 21?
Next year, May.
Okay. What you're going to do is this. Lucky him. He's here. If you wait 90 days and presuming the priority dates remain current in the F2A category, before he falls out of status, you file an adjustment application for him. So you have between the 90th day of his entry and day 180, because at day 180 he's out of status. Between 90 and 180, you file an adjustment application, presuming the F2A category is still current, which I assume it will be, and he will get his green card here in the United States. If He
So
was
you
back
said,
in, if he was back in Jamaica, he would have filed an I-130. He would have fallen out of the Child Status Protection Act, and he'd been waiting 5-6 years. So lucky him, he's here and in legal status.
It says the best option is to file for him while he's here.
The best option is to file an adjustment application 90 days after his entry, but before he falls out of status at 180. You have a window. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth.
Okay, Brad. So how can I get a consultation with you to go ahead?
Hold on.
I think I need you to.
Hold on. You'll get a consultation. Elisa in the Bronx. Hi, Elisa. Elisa. Let's go to Andrea in Kingston, Jamaica. Andrea.
Hi, Brad. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not bad. My party date was April 2019. We got approved from the NCV September 2020.
Who's sponsoring
Waiting
you?
Waiting for
Who's
the interview.
Who's sponsoring
Can you
you?
tell me how soon, please?
Andrea, who's sponsoring you?
My husband.
He's a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
So when you say you got approved in December 2020 by the NVC, you're talking about documentarily qualified?
No, September 2020 from the NCV.
Okay. Was your case transferred to Kingston or not yet?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well,
we don't hear anything from that.
Well, the problem is, there was COVID, and there's a lot of backup, and the embassy is still working on skeletal staff. They should be scheduling you by September or before, assuming you're documentarily qualified September 2020.
Yes, they are.
Okay. If it's more than a year and they still haven't scheduled you, they're in violation of your rights at that point. And I would be thinking about having your husband file a mandamus on your behalf.
Have him filed what, sir?
There's something called a mandamus, Andrea, and the mandamus forces the government to do their job. You are immediately eligible for a green card, except they haven't. The National Visa Center in the U.S. Embassy in Kingston hasn't done anything. They're just sitting on your paperwork, your husband's paperwork. He's being affected by that. So at this point, there's nothing to do except wait. I don't know when you're going to get an appointment. Certainly we can, you can call the embassy. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. We can call the embassy on your behalf. Sometimes that's helpful. But after 1 year, if they still haven't scheduled you after the National Visa Center said you're documentarily qualified, I would suggest hiring a lawyer at that point to perhaps threaten litigation, which is a mandamus. All right. So hold on, but to answer your specific question, when do you, Andrea, get an appointment? I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
All right.
So if they don't start yet with Kingston, Jamaica.
I didn't say that.
In the NCV.
I didn't say that. They're scheduling in Kingston. It's just there's a huge backlog. What I said is, if you haven't heard by September, to call me. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
All right. That's what.
All
if you
right.
have to take anything out of this conversation, you could get an appointment tomorrow. It could be in July. It could be in August. If after September you haven't heard, call me directly. All right.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Let's go to Felicia in Springfield, Massachusetts. Felicia.
Okay. Hi. Good day. My brother had went to an interview to get his green card, but he didn't do his medical. He wasn't aware that he should have. So they told him that he could do it, but they would send him a letter. It's been over a month. He already did his medical and everything. So I just wanted to know where he should send it.
Where did he go for his interview?
I'm sorry, go again?
Where did he go for his interview?
In New York.
You have to wait for them to send a letter, because if he just sends it randomly, it'll never reach the file.
Okay, one more question. My mom got married, right? She's about to put her papers in. So I'm 20. I wanted to know if it's a case where she could put papers in for me too, or it's just her? Just her, because the marriage happened after your 18th birthday. Okay. I had listened to your show before, and I heard you were talking about SEG. I'm not sure. SIJ. I'm not sure if I pronounced it properly.
SIJ, Special Immigrant Juvenile.
I'm sorry, go again?
Special Immigrant Juvenile.
What's that?
That means somebody. What you need a consultation. That's what it means. Hold on one
Okay.
second. Hold on. That's what it means. Blessing in Dallas.
Hey, Brad.
Hi. How are you?
Good. Thank you for all you're doing. I just want to ask a quick question real quick. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm a green card holder, and I'm petitioning for my kids. They live abroad, but I'm not sure if I'm doing what is right here. I got the documents together, like I got a birth certificate, I-30 forms, individual ones, and the filing fee attached, the passport data page, and the passport photographs, and tax documents. Are all of these what I would need to put in?
Who are you filing for?
My kids.
Where are you at with the case?
Oh, I'm here in the U.S. and the kids in Africa.
So you're just going to put the paperwork in for the first time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you married to the mother of these children?
Yeah, but no more.
Okay. All you need to do is put in their birth certificates, your marriage certificate to the mother. Hopefully the birth certificates indicate you're the father and it was put on at the time of birth. The fact that you were married to the mother legitimates the children. You don't need anything else at the present time.
Okay, but then what the marriage that I had back home is some kind of customary marriage, like traditional kind of marriage.
So if it was not a legal marriage,
it is legal.
It was not a legal civil marriage, recognized civil marriage. You just told me it was a customary marriage. So that is not a legal marriage. That's a customary marriage. If it's a custody marriage, then you were not married to anybody in Africa.
Okay, I have to say this, Brad. Back home in Nigeria, we have our court recognizes.
So then you were married. You're either legally married or you're not legally married. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You're in a different position if you were legally married to the mother of your children versus not legally married. I'm not looking at your documents, so I'm basing it what you tell me. Does Nigeria recognize that you were legally married in Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay, so you were legally married.
Yes.
You show you are legally married to the mother of your children. Here's the marriage certificate. You show here is the children's birth certificates. My name was put on at the time of birth. Here is my divorce decree. I divorced this woman. I'm now married to another woman. But you are the biological father of legitimated children because you were married to their mother. You don't need to file anything else. That's it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let's go to Marvin in Brooklyn.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
My lawyer filed a I-360 with nothing else, and we supposed to go for an interview. She didn't go, so we have been up and down.
I don't know what happened to Marvin. Hopefully he'll call back. Linroy in Poughkeepsie.
Hi, Brad.
Hi.
I have a question regarding. I own two businesses in New York. One is a car dealership. The other is an electrical company.
Mm-hmm.
They're both LLCs. However, I'm trying to get a work permit for someone who doesn't live in the country. I'm not sure if you could advise me as to how I should approach this.
Okay, where are you? Are you Jamaican? I hear a Jamaican accent, or no?
Yes, I'm Jamaican.
Okay, all right. And the person you want to have work for you is also Jamaican, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would suggest, what is it that they're going to come do for you?
Sales and just the managing of the dealership.
Okay.
To speak.
So if you, as a Jamaican, because you're dual citizen or maybe you're a resident or whatever you are, but you have a Jamaican passport, own 50% of a business or more, and you want to bring an employee from Jamaica to work in a specialized field in your business, you can bring that employee on an E2 visa.
Okay.
It's an investor visa, and you're allowed to bring employees. So, for example, the most obvious one would be, Air Jamaica, I think, turned into Caribbean Airlines. So you're familiar with that. They're a Jamaican company, I presume, or whatever, somewhere in the West Indies, majority owned by West Indians. They bring their employees to be the mechanics on the planes from Jamaica on E2 visas.
Okay. Do you have any idea, like, what I would have to prove in terms of, like, documentation?
You are the owner. You are more than 50% owner of this business. This is not
100%.
Right. This is not your sole source of income. You have an employee or somebody you want to hire in Jamaica who's qualified to come work in this particular position, management, executive, specialized field, and you bring them over on an E2 visa and file it. That's what you need.
Is
Hold
that
on.
something your office deals with?
I do it every week. Hold on.
Thank you.
Let's go to Ann in Queens, New York.
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, Brad. I want to find out some information in regards to a son of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I was married to a U.S. citizen before he became 17.
Mm-hmm.
But I submit the documents after he become 21. So when I submit, he was approved
Who
for 21.
submitted documents? Your husband filed
My
for your husband
yeah.
filed for him, but after he was
Yes.
21, so he's on the F1
Yes.
category.
Yes. So the NVC sent me back a notification saying that he is not eligible for processing at this time because there's numeric limitation.
Correct.
So I don't. Mhm.
Because you filed after 21. So in other words, had your husband filed for him before he was 21, he would be considered what's called an immediate relative. An immediate relative means there's no visa waiting list. If you file after 21, he's in what's called the F1 category. They only give about 22 or 23,000 green cards to everybody who is an unmarried son or daughter over the age of 21 of a U.S. citizen, even a stepfather, which is what the qualification is for your husband to file for him because the marriage happened before 18. But he's still over 21 when the application went in, so he's in the F1 category. You had to have filed before 21 for him to be immediately eligible for his green card. After that, it's 23,000 green cards a year. There's more than 23,000 people waiting for green cards. Therefore, there's a list, and that list is about 5 to 7 year wait.
Oh, okay. And would it be possible for him to travel on a regular visa if he can?
Does he have a visa?
Yes.
He can try to travel on a visa, absolutely. They're going to ask him questions at the airport. You're filed for. What's your intention of coming here? As long as he has a quick return plane ticket to go home and he could really show that he intends to leave the United States, they should allow him in for temporary visits as long as he doesn't come too often.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Okay, then. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Tate in Fort Myers, Florida.
Hey, Brad, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So my girlfriend is from Canada, and I'm an American, and she's been visiting the United States throughout the years, and on June 1st, she was found inadmissible before she got here. And
why?
The reason she admitted to prostitution in September of 2014. She was not convicted because it's legal in Canada, and they told her that she was barred for 10 years. And
Correct.
we were wondering, when does this bar start, or when does, or is this moral turpitude, which means it's a permanent bar?
Well, if she was found inadmissible and she has a 10-year bar, it starts from the time that they found her inadmissible. I would have to look at the paperwork. The only way that you're going to be able to get her to come to the United States is to marry her.
Yeah.
And then file a waiver.
All right.
You know, just because it's legal in Canada doesn't make it legal in America. It's like saying, well, I'm allowed to, I don't know, maybe there's a country in the world where you can kill people. I don't know. I can kill people in my country, but you can't kill people in America. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
We saw that there was a statute that said that prostitution, or you are inadmissible, an alien who's coming to the United States.
There's waivers for it. There's waivers for it if you get married. for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So
Well,
I mean, my
yeah.
answer to you is, if you love her, marry her, and file for
Yeah,
her.
but the question is, like, if it's only 3 years she's banned for, that would be nice. Then
It's
we
not
could
going to
just
be
simply
3 years.
wait.
It's not going to be 3 years.
Okay.
All right. But I would have to look at what section of law they found her inadmissible, and then I can tell you exactly what it is.
Okay. Sounds good. All right.
Hold on if
Thank
you
you.
need help. Let's go to Rose in Austin, Texas.
Hello.
Rose, hi, how are
Brad.
you,
How
Rose?
are you?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much. So I have a question. I got my citizenship denial decision today in the paper. The reason was I had a shoplifting case back in end of 2017, and it got denied first, and now this is the 336 got denied.
What?
So my question, I'm sorry, do you hear me?
Yeah, you got cut off. What happened when you got denied?
Yeah. Okay. So I had a shoplifting case 2017.
Right.
Because of that, I got denied. And this is, by the way, after the 336. And it got denied again in the mail today.
What's 336? You mean the 360?
336. Okay, first time I applied for the 400. After my shoplifting case, it got denied. I applied for...
Oh, okay. All right. You're talking about your citizenship. The N400 and the 336 is the appeal.
Yes.
Okay, fine. All right. So,
the
Rose,
400
let's take a step back a second.
Yes.
When did you get your green card?
Oh, that was in 2012.
And where are you from?
Iraq.
And when were you found guilty of shoplifting?
December 2017.
Okay. Are you married to a citizen? How did you get your green card? Or was it a refugee
I was
or
working-
amnesty?
Yes. So I was
not
working for the
amnesty, asylum,
U.S.
I mean.
Army.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was working for the U.S. Army, and I got they called special visa, and I
Got it.
immediately
Understood. Okay. So 2017, what happened with the shoplifting offense?
So I was arrested for 2 hours. Then they bailed me out. I went to the court. A judge put me on 6 months deferral. It got dismissed.
And you got denied for that in Texas, saying that you
Yes,
have
sir.
bad moral character because you got arrested once and the case was dismissed.
Yes, sir.
I would refile your N400. When was the appeal? Well, let me ask you this question. When was the appeal dismissed?
The appeal was dismissed after 6 months from
When was the N336 denied? Dismissed?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. Okay. So what I would do is there's something I wouldn't actually refile again. I would do what's called a de novo review. And what a de novo review is you take the case from immigration, you bring it into federal court. De novo means new review, where a federal judge reviews your entire case from scratch again, from new.
So can I hire you for that?
Yes, you can. And I
I'm
would
moving.
argue that you had a bad day. That doesn't make you a bad person. It's not like you were arrested multiple times or you were even convicted of something.
No, it was only one mistake. And it's never
Right, you're
happened
allowed
again.
to make a mistake and still be a good person. All right.
Sir, I'm moving to Virginia in 4 months because after this, I just want to leave Texas. I'm so pissed. So is it okay to hire you while I'm in Virginia and reapply?
Yes, you would file the appeal in whatever state you're in.
Okay, so
Into federal court.
I don't need to wait 5 years to show good moral character. That's what I
No,
was-
because we're going to renew your case before a federal judge. And there's nothing immigration could do to you because you don't have a criminal conviction, so they can't put you in deportation. They can't do anything bad to you.
Yes.
So you have nothing to lose.
Okay, so I don't need to wait 5 years because they said in order to show
you
good
would
moral...
you would file a de novo review immediately and say I have good moral character right now.
Okay, then I'm gonna call your office. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, hold on.
Thank you.
Okay, Danica in the Bronx. Danica. Hi, Danica.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. So I have a question, Brad. So my husband filed an I-130 petition for my son in Jamaica. So we have the receipt and everything. It's been 4 months. Should I get an email from NVC or the timing is okay?
What was filed? Tell me again.
I-130.
The I-130 has been approved or not approved yet?
It's been approved.
And you got documentarily qualified by the NVC? Where are you at?
No, just the I-130 been approved.
And you haven't
I
heard
got a
from
receipt.
and you have not
No.
heard and you have not heard from the National Visa Center yet.
No.
And it's been 4 months already. I would call the National Visa Center. Say, hey, where's my
Yes,
I-130? At this point, they should have it.
Yeah, it's been 4 months already.
They should have it by now.
Okay.
All right. So contact the National Visa Center. If there's a problem, call me.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right. And with that, by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions answered by me, you could always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. You follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. Drop me a DM. I'm happy to answer your immigration questions. You could also follow me on @BradShowLive. If you follow me on @BradShowLive, you don't like 2 hours of us, but you like 30 seconds of us or 45 seconds of us, follow us on Instagram at BradShowLive. And I saw Carol Anderson, the Tiger, said her favorite part of the show is Speed Round. I hope we're going to be able to do it today. If you like Speed Round, Carol, and everybody else, follow us on TikTok. We have all our Speed Rounds on TikTok. It's our actually our fastest growing part of our social media empire. So follow Bradshaw Live on TikTok as well. And do we have Yo-Yo and Vanessa?
Yep, you guys can follow me.
And you guys can find Vanessa Dockery.
And you can follow Jonathan at Jonathan Elias TV on all social media platforms. Later in the show, I'm going to speak with Shannon Laguerre-Mongret, and she's going to tell us about a cancellation or removal case based on female genital mutilation that she recently won. Female genital mutilation is a very serious issue that affects millions and millions of women and girls worldwide. But right now, we're going to hear the #1 change in U.S. immigration reform that musical theater composer Jaime Lozano would like to see. As always, squad, let us know what reform you want to see in the comments. What is the #1 change you want to see in U.S. immigration reform?
We should be able to work without all these long and expensive processes. I mean, they just take forever, and they are working as a dishwasher or they are working in a restaurant that they're not able to apply for a visa because they don't have the mediums to do that. I mean, if they're working in an honest way, they should be able to work legally in anywhere. So I think it's important to help the people that they are working in honest in this country. I mean, like facilitating the way to get some kind of work visa.
Immigration was complicated. When I became an immigration lawyer in 1993, I was actually told it's the second most complicated law behind tax law. Now, in 2021, I don't know, it could be just as complicated as tax law, or maybe even the most complicated in America. They don't make it easy. It's not just filling out a form. I wish it was for many people, but it's not. So hopefully somebody's listening when they make this immigration reform. All right, we're going to do something we like to call social media check-in.
All right, let's get to it.
Well, we got to get social media check-in. There we go. All right, Vanessa, I think it's going to be me and you.
I'm here.
Oh, you are
Can you
here.
hear me?
You're back now.
There he is.
Yes, sir.
I love it. Okay, it's going to be the three of us.
Okay.
Fantastic. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. First one comes from Ronnie Rodriguez, Brad Squad VIP member, saying, I have a friend who overstayed his visa. Can he travel locally?
Yeah, of course.
Sal Perry, other Broad Squad VIP member. Does the visa bulletin come years in advance, or does it go year by year? For example, if 2008.
I'm sorry, Vanessa. I'm sorry. I don't hear every word you're saying, so I can't give the answer. Is it your microphone that you're too far away, or is it J Rhymes not holding the wires right? We have them like all concocted in the studio holding wires.
How about?
No, I still don't hear you. I'm sorry.
You want me to try?
Yes, try Jonathan.
Okay. Sal Perry, Brad Squad VIP member. Does the visa bulletin jump years in advance, or does it go year by year in order? For example, if it's 2008, can it jump to 2012 in 1 year?
Possibly, yeah, because it depends on, and you never know. Because let's take, for example, the F1 category. I think it's like 22 or 23,000 green cards per year. You don't know how many people are waiting in any given month for a green card. You don't know how many derivative family members each petition has. And you don't know if people are going to get through or not. Maybe there's a lot of denials. Maybe people give up on their green cards. So you never know. Sometimes it jumps in 1 month, 6 months. Sometimes it doesn't move at all. So it moves all over the place. It gyrates up and down.
All right. Adeptian Janet, Brad Squad VIP member. I have a relative that has overstayed with her immediate family in the United States on a visitor's visa, and the mom is now a U.S. citizen. Can her mom file for her and her immediate relatives now?
Mom is a U.S. citizen. How old is the child? Or she's an adult. The mom could file for sure, but not as an immediate relative unless they're under 21. Over 21, there's going to be a big wait.
Okay, Fella, another Brad Squad VIP member. Can someone who is denied a green card because of a divorce decree that is not accepted by immigration ever be granted a green card another way?
Yes, if you can figure out. I guess a lot of the divorces that get denied are now from Africa. It used to be Dominican divorces, or Mexican divorces. Now it's African divorces. They're saying are not legitimate. If you don't have a legitimate divorce, get the legitimate divorce here in the United States and then remarry whoever you wanted to marry and get your green card. That would generally be what the process would be. But yeah, you can figure out other ways to get a green card. And if they say even you committed fraud, you could always do a waiver.
Okay, are we still echoing? Tina's thing on YouTube? Do you hear me well?
I do.
Okay, I live in Buffalo and I will be applying for
Nope.
my Thought so.
Sorry. Jonathan?
You want me to get it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Tina Singh on YouTube. I live in Buffalo and I'll be applying for my I-485 soon. Can I have a green card interview in NYC instead of Buffalo, as I want you as my attorney to come along for the interview?
Well, no, it has to be in Buffalo. But now immigration is allowing attorney representation by phone and video conference. So we are representing people all over the United States of America by phone and video conference. Of course, there's airplanes that work, and we can fly to Buffalo too if really necessary.
Okay, T on YouTube. Is it possible to retrieve the answers given to the consulate on the day of a visa interview in my home country? Will it be among the documents that can be retrieved from USCIS?
No. First of all, you wouldn't get those documents from USCIS because the consulate's run by the State Department. You would do a Freedom of Information Act request with the State Department, but they're not going to give you a transcript of what was said at the interview. One more, Jonathan.
Okay, TMC on YouTube. If I seek asylum, will my student visa be revoked?
Yes, it's not going to be revoked, but you're no longer on a student visa. You're on a pending asylum case. So you're changing. It's not about being revoked. It's about changing your status here in the United States of America. By the way, what we're going to be talking about now is graphic female genital mutilation, FGM. So I'm giving a warning that it is very graphic, could be triggering to some people. So if it is, or you don't want to watch, or maybe you're with young people that you don't want to watch, this may be a good time to flip the channel. If not, Vanessa recently spoke with Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon Laguerre-Magret to discuss a very successful cancellation removal case based on female genital mutilation. Let's watch.
Hi, Brad Squad. Vanessa Contreras here with Spar and Bernstein, partner and immigration attorney Shannon Laguerre-Magret to discuss a particularly complicated case in which she prevailed and secured 2 of her clients their green cards. This case involves the practice of female circumcision or female genital mutilation, which, according to a recent report by the United Nations Population Fund, is practiced in 31 countries in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Shannon, what was the situation in this case?
We had a couple that came in 2011 and basically met with Brad. Brad assigned the case to me, and the case basically was for filing an asylum application. The couple had been here since 2001, 2002. It was 2011 then, so it's a late filed asylum application. So just so everyone knows, you usually have 1 year to be able, within the time that you first came in from your first date of entry, to file an asylum application. So we're filing it late, clearly. And the reason why is because the wife is from Guinea. They tried to do the female genital mutilation when she was 3 years old. And then at 5 years old, they tried again with her and her sister. Sister ends up dying. The way that they do it in certain countries is that the entire village brings the girls together and they do almost like a rite of passage. So it's a ceremony, it's a ritual. And so they have all the girls together one by one. They basically perform this female genital mutilation. And for those who don't know, the female genital mutilation is that you are basically taking off, and it depends on what country you're in, depends on the village. You are using anything from a piece of glass to a knife to remove the clitoris, and then they sew you back up. So they do it with young girls as young as this, no anesthesia. I mean, these are in remote villages sometimes that are happening. And so basically when her sister ended up dying, the whole process ended up stopping for the day. And then her parents at that point were like, you know what, we're not going to do this any longer. And she ends up hiding throughout the country so she doesn't have this done to her, and ultimately comes to the United States where she feels safe and secure, ends up having 2 daughters with her husband. And her family and also his family is asking for the 2 daughters to have this female circumcision or female genital mutilation done, because as girls, as part of this tradition, that they should have it done. And at that point, that's why they came in, and we filed the asylum application late, basically stating that there were changed circumstances, and those changed circumstances was the fact that they now had 2 daughters that were being threatened to have this particular female circumcision done to them.
Can you just share with us culturally, why is this a practice?
The problem is that in a lot of these cultures, if you don't have it done, the woman is subject to rape, okay? They are not marriage material, so they cannot get married if they don't have this done. They almost become less than in their community. It's a rite of passage. It's an honor to have your daughter have this done. And interestingly enough, even though men certainly are like, yes, they should have it done, but women, the older women, are pushing this because they understand how this can affect a girl later on in life. And it's almost like, we want to protect you, so have this done. So culturally, that's why it's done. And a lot of times religiously, women feel that this is what they should do, and in order to protect their virtue. And so at that point, basically, they allude to the fact that it's in the Quran, but in actuality, it's not in the Quran. You have many countries who are trying their best to educate girls and women and men about really the fatalities that have existed, that have emanated from this practice.
Now, even if a girl survives the initial circumcision, what are the long-term health effects?
So many times it's hard to imagine, but hard to urinate, hard to really enjoy sex. When you have your monthly menstruation, it is beyond painful. Physically, things that would be normal to be able to do becomes extremely excruciating pain. And so, yes, those are things that happen. Birth, of course, is difficult.
So now, Shannon, in this case, your client's husband was against his daughters being circumcised.
Correct. The main person was the wife. She was the principal applicant that was submitting the asylum application. Her husband was going to benefit from the asylum application. However, husband also was married before and had daughters before these children that were born in the US. And these daughters also had female genital mutilation performed, and he was against it. But even as the man of the family, even as the head of his household, you know, the village elders held more power than he did. And so although he would say, no, I don't want them to have it done, I've seen what the ramifications are, the village elders still prevailed. He didn't want any other children of his to have it done. And that's why he was so against it when he had these daughters born in the United States.
What type of case did you file in immigration court on behalf of the couple?
When they came in 2011, we filed an I-589, which is an application for asylum, with the asylum office. The asylum office basically had an interview, and at that interview, they did find them credible and consistent in their testimony, but indicated that they did not believe that they met the exception for changed circumstances. Because by the time we filed the application for asylum, their daughters were much older. They were like 9 and 10 years old, if I recall correctly. So they felt that we did not file within that 1 year of them basically being threatened. So they just felt that it was too long. And so they ultimately ended up being referred to immigration court. When we went to immigration court, I then at that point resubmitted the asylum application and said that we are now saying that they need to be protected because their daughters are being forced to come back home to have this performed, and we want to protect the entire family. But I also filed an application for what they call cancellation of removal, which is basically this couple had been here for 10 years. So they've been living in the United States for 10 years. Now they have a notice to appear in immigration court. And we needed to show and demonstrate that the children, the US citizen daughters, would suffer exceptional and extremely unusual hardship if their parents were deported. So 2 applications were submitted to the immigration court.
Shannon, with that being said, what was the court's response?
So at that point, the court accepted both applications, and I indicated that I was going to argue for both relief, really. So they can either A, get the asylum approved, or withholding of removal or convention against torture, but we were aiming for the asylum. We felt that we had met the burden of filing late, that there was a good cause for filing late, and so that we were pushing for the asylum, but also for the cancellation of removal. Most immigrants know it as the 10-year rule, but cancellation of removal is the most difficult way to get the green card in immigration court. So of course, this was in 2012 when we ended up in court. We went to court many times, and we ended up having hearings that were canceled. And as most people know who are in immigration court, let's say they don't have a hearing today, you're not going to get a hearing for another year or 2 sometimes. So again, we didn't go into court to have our case heard until 2019. And so we appeared in court in 2019 and had our case heard. And so much had happened. Can you imagine between 2011 to 2019, Guinea ended up banning the practice of female genital mutilation in 2016. As wonderful as a situation that is, because it's a good thing to ban this with such tremendous heartbreak for so many women and girls. And in 2019, the government attorney went after us and was indicating that, why is this an issue? This is a moot point now. I mean, this doesn't exist in the country. And my argument was that, no, it does exist. Just because the government has basically outlawed it and has said that you will be penalized for it doesn't mean that people are still not doing it, because it's so ingrained in the society. So many people feel like you need to do it. Again, we understand that the government is saying that we can be penalized, but a lot of people were still continuing the practice, especially in these remote villages, which was where my clients were from. And so that was my argument. Also, they were not penalizing people yet. They would give fines, but they were not jailing people yet or putting them in jail yet. And so it's almost like you get a warning type of situation. And so I was like, listen, you're going to send this family back There's no other family to take care of these two girls. Do you really want to risk that? So the government attorney was indicating that, hey, we feel that the government is doing what they need to do, and we should allow them to continue to govern the way that they should govern. And there's no reason to protect this family. But my argument is that this still exists. The family is still at risk. And there were other complications. One of the daughters, we ended up filing for another application. That same day I went in 2019, because that daughter, she was in school at a charter school, a specialized type of school, and she ended up being jumped by a group of girls who didn't like Africans and poured bleach on her. And then they recorded it and put it on social media.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so I then at that point had filed for what they call a U visa. And the reason why is because even though it happened to the US citizen daughter, the parents had to suffer and have to basically, deal with the police, cooperate with the police. And there's emotional trauma that exists from seeing that your daughter, they saw the tape. I saw the tape. I cried when I saw the tape. And even the judge indicated that she had a daughter that was around that age. At that point, she was 15. And your heart breaks. It's like, who does this? How cruel and vile is that? And so we actually requested time to be able to get the family, the parents, a U visa. But the government argued against that and basically said that they can be deported back to their country and wait for the U visa, because the U visa takes quite some time. And I was appalled. I was appalled that he had saw the same video that I saw and that the judge saw and was willing for them to still go back. So we had, at this point in 2019, 3 applications before the judge.
Now, you ended up having to go with the daughters for a court-ordered medical exam.
So again, in 2019, and I say this to so many clients, and people who are attorneys probably have the same situation, your clients will always tell you everything. So they failed to mention that their daughters had traveled to London, England to see family there. And the government was able to see that because, of course, you submit documentation. So that question came up. When I asked, have they traveled outside of the country, they did say no. But then when the government attorney asked, interestingly enough, they said yes. And it turned out to be London, England. And so at that point, the government attorney argued that the medical exam that I submitted, they should do another medical exam because my medical exam showed that they had not had this performed on them, which is important. But they wanted us to submit another medical exam. So the judge was also surprised for them to have such fear that the family would be willing to do this to their daughters. Why would they send them to London, England, even though not to Guinea, but to London, England? And I argued, we understand that female genital mutilation happens everywhere. Certainly it happens in the United States, it happens other places. Doctors are doing them and they're not supposed to, but depending on the culture. At that time, the judge basically said, and I think I started court, it was 8:30, and it was at that point maybe 2:30. And the judge indicated that I needed to take both daughters to the doctor. I had to make the appointment right there in court and take them right there and then to the doctor. And I had to wait with them, get the results, and bring it back to court that same day.
After you came back to court with the medical examination reports for the daughters, what was the judge's response then?
So I came in and the judge was on the bench, clearly waiting for me, but there was no government attorneys. And so the judge accepted it, looked at the documents and said that she was going to provide the government attorney a copy, said that she would issue a decision. So the record was closed. At this point, I could submit nothing else. We were just waiting on a decision. So this was in 2019, and we received a decision in March of 2021. And granting. I can't explain what an amazing moment it was to get that decision, because I went to the last page at first, because the last page is what tells you what happened. And I saw granted, and I think I started screaming, crying, all kinds of emotions. I've been with this family since 2011. It's such an amazing situation. And to be able to call the family, interestingly, they were calling me a little while before to talk about work permits, and now to be able to tell them that in actuality you had been granted and you're now going to be a green card holder for both parents. So the judge actually ended up saying, we're not even going to do the asylum. We're going to go straight to the more difficult standard, which is that you have established that these girls will suffer exceptional and extremely unusual hardship if they do not get the green card. Again, you can't imagine my excitement.
What did the judge say in her decision?
In the decision, the judge basically went through the procedural history, which is what we explained before, filing for the asylum application, that they were credible and consistent, even though the government attorney did feel that there may have been some fabrications, but the judge found them to be credible and consistent, just like the asylum officer did. And then jumped to the concept of the U visa, understanding that that would take a long time, but also found that to be heart-wrenching, that the daughter had to suffer such abuse. And the daughter didn't fight back when they were beating her up. And she ended up telling the police and us that she didn't fight back because she didn't want her parents to be deported because of her fighting back. And that also, I mean, the parents cried on that. So this is mentioned in the decision, and then goes on to talk about the fact that to send the parents back, who would take care of these daughters? Why should these US citizen daughters who've never been to this country go and have to probably be subject to it, that they're from a remote village? Her sister, in regards to the applicant's sister, had died from this situation, and why risk it? It was an 8-page detailed single-space decision going into details about how we had proven our case and that she was going to grant both mother and father cancellation of removal.
Wow, that was such a winning moment for you, surely, especially after chasing this for so long now.
Immigration is about keeping families together. It's about keeping families united. That is really ultimately, when you go back to the foundation of immigration law, is bringing families and keeping them together. You now have 2 US citizen daughters, their parents, it's just the 4 of them. I mean, the 2 daughters do extremely well in school. And in spite of this craziness that happened to one daughter, she still continued to excel in school. She left her school and ended up going to another school. They ended up moving out of the neighborhood because, I mean, this was all over on social media that these girls posted. I mean, there's a lot of suffering that happened for this family. It's a we situation because we all did it together. Like, there are documents that I need to submit, and they provided that to us. You know, they need to talk to me, and they spoke to me. They told me about the situation with their daughter. Imagine if they had not told me this. This ends up being written in the decision. And that's why it's so important for clients to really feel comfortable with their attorneys and tell their attorneys everything, because a lot of times you may think it's not significant or you may think it's not relevant, but I can use it. We together did it.
Shannon, congratulations to you on persevering and fighting as always to get the best outcome for your clients on such a difficult case.
Thank you.
So if you or someone you love need good immigration attorneys who will fight for your right to live and work legally in the United States, call Spar and Bernstein at 1-800-529-5465. Again, that's 1-800-529-5465.
All right, fantastic job, Shannon. We're going to go right into speed round. Give me 50 seconds, 9 immigration questions. It's me and Yo-Yo. All right, you ready, Yo-Yo?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. Wait, we got to get 50
right.
seconds on the clock. 50 seconds, please.
How long does rescheduling an I-751 interview
We
take?
haven't started the clock yet.
You haven't started?
Go now.
How long does rescheduling an I-751 interview take?
Months.
Should I change my DS to 160 if I get married with a pending visa?
I don't even know what that means.
Can I apply for citizenship after divorce on a 10-year PR card?
Yes.
Can I apply for citizenship with an expired passport?
Yes.
How long does I-601 waiver approval take?
Over a year.
If I enter the U.S. through the Mexican border, can I get asylum?
Yes.
Can I get a U.S. passport in 5 years without marriage?
Yes, if you have a green card.
What is TPS?
Temporary protected status.
Can I apply for a work permit with a K-1?
Yes. Woo! But I blew up anyway, because it's one of those days.
We got it.
I know, but I blew up anyway. They blew me up anyway, even though we got it.
We got it?
I don't know what we got. We got spiders. And not only did I do
no
it right, but
spiders.
they're giving me
No
spiders
spiders.
now. They're giving me spiders and balloons. What a...
Oh my gosh,
come
Brad.
on, man. Don't give me spiders. I won that
My
one.
heart.
What are you giving me spiders
As long as we
for?
got it.
We got it. All right, let's go to comments of the day.
Okay.
Comments of the day. I think I got it.
That was hilarious. All right, our first comment of the day comes from Caviar Harris. Oh, okay, now I was waiting. There we go. Caviar Harris saying, squad up, still on vacation, but I can't afford to miss the show.
All right.
I like it. On vacation. All right, our second comment of the day. Pretty Chef Ferreira saying, you are afraid of a little spider, but Brad, you can take on some cases that's out of this world.
That's true. That is true. Yes, but I am scared of a little spider. That is true too.
That's hilarious. All right. Our third comment of the day comes from Princess Tenko saying, yes, Uncle Brad, I had my citizenship last week and was sworn in the same day as well. God
All
is
right.
good.
Congratulations. Way to go.
Congrats.
Because she's been watching a long time, so she did it all on her own, so congratulations.
Wow. I love that. All right, guys. Our last comment of the day for Wacky Thursday comes from Tanisha Brown saying, Brad, you're the best. Keep doing the good work for us immigrants.
Thank you very much. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Hopefully we'll get our act together tomorrow. Have a great evening. We'll see you on
So,
Papa
Sam, as
Friday.
part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it.
The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.
What are you doing?